Hello, Capricious. What does your nickname stand from?
I randomly came across the name Capricious because it means somewhat like always changing. And I always figured like that's kind of like how my style is. The stuff that I do, people always try to figure out like, hey, what's your brand? What are you good at? And I was like, I don't know. I just like doing a lot of stuff. Like sometimes I feel like this, other times I feel like that. It's like, so I came across Capricious. It's like, hey, that's a pretty cool name. I've never heard it before. So I started using that as my handle on everything.
Well, it's very original. I must give you that. I was talking with our publisher the past days, and he said that you are a one-man show. Where does your passion come from?
So I always wanted to act. That was like the main thing I wanted to do. And then it's hard getting acting jobs, especially in LA. I got a handful of them and had little, I mean, it's successful, I guess, being in any kind of TV show because it's so hard to get in. And then I was just tired of sitting around not doing anything. And I was like, man, I always want to be working, but the only time you'd really be working is when you're in class, and then classes would get expensive. So I was like, there has to be something else I could be doing. And I seen like some of those old skits where the people play multiple characters, and I was like, man, I could do that. So I started doing my own characters, because at first I would ask people to be in the little skits with me or whatever I was doing. And then people would be like, okay, yeah, I want to do it. And then when the day would come, they'd be like, oh, I can't. I had this come up. They'd have excuses. And I'm like, oh, man, like, why'd you tell me you're going to do it if you're not really going to do it? So, and then I think I started off on my YouTube channel. I was just doing like little scenes. And then I was like, man, I really like comedy a lot. So I should probably like do that because I enjoy doing it, and then add like some kind of little message to each one, because I always wanted to like inspire people, no matter really what it was, just inspire people to do something positive. So yeah, that's where it all came from.
And how do you come up with the sketches? What's the story behind them? Is it personal experiences? Is it just something that you feel like sending to the world?
So yeah, a lot of the time it's funny. I have a hard time like sitting down and actually writing stuff. When I go to sit down and I'm like, all right, I'm going to think of a sketch, and I'll try to write, and I can't even think of anything to write. And I'm like, man, I try to put up a sketch every Wednesday. So then I had to set a deadline. And then when it'd be getting closer to Wednesday, I'm like, all right, you got to do something. So under the pressure, then I just come up with a lot of stuff. Or like something funny would happen during the week too. And I'd be like, oh, this would be funny if I put it in a sketch. Or else, yeah, I'll just hear random things or something. And then I'm like, this would be a good idea to make a sketch. I'll try it. And other times I have written a few of them like beforehand. And so it just comes to me when it comes. And I'm like, all right, I'll do this one.
Well, today is Wednesday.
Yeah. I still got to finish editing it, but I'll put it up later today. I have one that I filmed yesterday. Nice. I appreciate that you always watch them too. I always see. So makes me.
Yes, you're very creative. I mean, your sketches have something different. I saw that, for example, the last sketch you posted on the forums was about the face recognition of mobile phones. So your character was trying to unlock it with his eyes closed and while sleeping.
Yeah, that one was funny. I was like, maybe I'll get a bunch of people to put their phone up and try it and see if it actually works.
And did it work?
I mean, it didn't get as many views as I thought, but there was a good handful of people they're like, oh man, it worked when I did it. And other people were like, it didn't work when I tried to do it.
This reminds me of a photo which was a few years back with a dress. And from an angle, some people saw it yellow and white, and some people saw it black and blue. If you know the story with the dress. And once you saw it of a color, you could not see it on the other color ever again. It was very interesting.
that was that was kind of like I think I wrote it in the description too. I was like, is this the same argument as what color the dress is or something?
Yes, exactly, exactly. What projects are you working on now?
So right now, me and my buddy, he has a YouTube channel. His YouTube channel is actually pretty successful, and we do a lot of horror films.
Oh, horror
Well,
films.
short films. Yeah, we do a lot of horror short films, and right now we're working. I think we're going to start next week filming it. We've been working on a feature. It's kind of not simple, but kind of like has minimal location, so we could film it because it's pretty much just me and him doing all the work. And then we got, I think we got like 6 actors to be in it. So we got some inspiration from, I don't know if you've watched some of the older movies. One of them is Paranoia
Oh, I
or
know it.
Persona. That's what it is, Persona. And then the other one is I can't think of the name of it right now, but it actually takes place in I think they filmed it in Ukraine or something. His name is, he was like the Stanley Kubrick of Russia, I think. And it was this long movie where they're going to like kind of like Chernobyl. They go to a place called the Zone, and they're looking for a place called the Room that like grants them their desires and wishes or something. And it's like a really like long drawn out movie, and it's pretty interesting, but like throughout the whole movie nothing really happens. And I can't think of the name of the movie right now. It's I can't think of it, but I'll let you know if I think of it later. But yeah,
And
we're working on that.
okay, so you're making something similar to that, but in your way.
Yeah.
And
that's
with
what we're-
actors this time.
Yeah, we have other actors in this one. I have a small part in it, but yeah, we do all the filming and audio and everything. So it should be exciting. We filmed a few feature films before, and I think both of them are on Amazon.
Oh, that's
So,
very nice.
yeah. Pretty
And
cool.
aside from this project, what other future projects will you have?
I actually wrote a script. I'm trying to find an actress to play it. I was trying to find some name actress, somebody that's not like real popular, but is kind of like on the rise to put into it. And it's just a story about 2 people that are kind of like going through a rough time. They meet up, and then they've known each other in the past, and then they reconnect, hang out, and like talk about life and aliens and religion and other stuff. And
They click,
then they realize,
basically.
yeah. So they kind of then they kind of realize that they're not the only people going through the stuff, and they feel comfort that the other person is feeling the same way. And yeah, just kind of like meeting each other for that time. So I have that in the future too, and hopefully I book some big roles coming up too. Been auditioning for things too.
Oh, good luck then.
Oh, thank you.
You never know when your time will come. That's for sure. How about film school? Did you ever go to film school? Did you consider going to film school? You are very talented after all.
I had thought about it when I was in college. They offered very few film classes, and I took like commercial, and they were doing like a news program where you like it was all student run. So I got a little bit of experience with editing and using the camera and being on camera, interviewing people. But that was the extent of it. It was only like 3 classes, I think. And then after that, I never took any film classes. I started doing wedding videography, and then I started editing wedding videos and putting them together. And from that, I was like, man, I can film my own stuff. I don't really need to get other people to film it for me. I just set it up on a tripod. But I learned a lot of it from my buddy. He's the one that I make the films with. He wants to direct, and I wanted to act. So we've been working together probably for like 8, 9 years already. And I learned
That's
a
a
lot
lot of time.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I've learned a lot of everything about the camera from him. I still don't know a ton about the camera, but I know enough to get by.
It's very good. So you basically learned a lot from your experience and by collaborating with your body.
And we'll go.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Frankie.
It's pretty,
Crazy.
it's
man.
exciting because like in LA, I mean,
Hot race
there's a
you
lot of
had.
people that want to do it, but there's not many people that know how to do it, I think. Like
Oh, Frankie.
they focus on like one thing.
Please don't
And I
do that
think
again,
especially
okay?
with social media and all the technology and stuff, it's kind of, you have to know more than one thing now, because you even got like YouTube and all those where the YouTubers are filming themselves. They blog, vlog, and everything, and they know how to edit. They know how to do all that stuff. And you have a lot of people here in LA that just want to act, and some of them do. They have the success, but I think it helps out to know how to do a lot of the other stuff as well.
It sure does. In your
Yeah.
opinion, do you think people should go to film school these days?
See, I would say that's a preference, but from my personal opinion, I would say you don't have to go to film school. There's always something that you can learn from it. But I think like I've listened to some of the directors like Quentin Tarantino, and it was some random interview that he was doing, and he's one of the lines that stuck out, like he said, you don't really have to know film to make a great movie. And I was like, I mean, it makes sense. Like if you get the right people, and I mean, he's had success, and that's what he said. He never went to film school, and he just learned from watching films. And if you do it enough, you want to learn, especially with the internet and everything, you could probably find all of it online, and you just have to be really self-motivated to do it if you're going to do it that way. Otherwise, then film school is a good option if you're kind of lazy and want other people to tell you what you should learn.
So basically, film school is the easy way, and the hard way is being self-taught and experiencing and learning by yourself.
I think I wouldn't say film school is the easy way, but it definitely helps. It's like having, if you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer, and the personal trainer is there to like guide you and help you do all the workouts and keep you motivated. That seems like that's what,
Definitely helps.
yeah, the big difference between film school and doing it on your own.
That's a very good comparison. What advice would you give to those who are just starting up?
The advice I would give is if you're into film, if you're into acting, whatever it is, don't wait on people to put you in stuff, because I did that for the longest time, and I just found myself waiting. And I hear a lot of people say that same thing. They got tired of waiting for other people to put them in or let them direct projects. And I heard a director talking one time. I can't remember what director it was, but the thing he said is like, you ever heard of green lighting a project? He's like, that's what Hollywood calls it when they green light a project, and the studios will allow you to make it. He's like, well, green light your own projects. He's like, don't wait until somebody else green lights it. If you could do it yourself, then green light your own projects. Don't wait, and just get it done. And I'm sure if you have a good story, you have some at least good quality camera, you can get it filmed looking good, and you can put it all together. It's probably just going to take a lot of work. So just gotta do it.
That's a very good advice. Capricious, thank you very much for your time. And I'm looking forward to see the sketch you're gonna make this Wednesday.
Oh, thanks.
I'm really sure I'm gonna like it.
I hope so. Now I feel the little bit of pressure from you guys. I'm like, I got to put stuff up and make sure they enjoy it. I've seen some people put the comments about how they're like, oh, I like watching these because it makes me laugh. It makes me smile. I'm like, oh, that's good.
You're making a lot of people smile with your work.
Nice. Hey, that's good. I so.
And you're just starting.
Right. Well, I appreciate you, and I'm glad I found you guys. It's awesome to have this kind of platform, and I like getting your guys' comments and reading them. I appreciate you having me.